when it comes to 1-month-old Tegan, Chad, you are the father. And when it comes to 1-month-old Peyton, Chad, you are not the father.
What? Wait a minute. 1-month-old twins. One man, he's only father of one of them. It could only happen on Maury Povich. Tackling the tricky family issues daily here on WGN. The Maury Show airs every weekday right after our WGN midday news from 1 to 3 p.m. Maury Povich is here with us. It's so great
Dean, it's awfully good to see you.
I'm told that is one of your favorite episodes of all that you've done.
The most shocking. The doctors say that's a 1,000,000 to 1 shot, and it's come in twice on our show where he was the father of one but not the other twin. And when it first happened, I looked at my staff. Of course, how can you not be the father of both twins if they're fraternal twins?
Yeah.
There is a possibility, because of the particular time period, that the young lady had more than one visitor.
Yeah. What was the resolution of that? Did the couple get back together?
They can't. I think they'd stay together, but I don't think we searched for the other twins. Sometimes that happens when a father is not the father, but he wants to be in the child's life. The mother just closes the door on the story and doesn't look for the birth father.
There have been so many amazing stories that you put out every day. How many years here on WGN?
Well, first of all, I'm so happy to be here, Dean. In terms of loyalty, Channel 9 WGN has been my supporter for 25 years. And it started with the Maury Povich Show, then it came to the Maury Show. And, I mean, you all have been so kind to me. And the fact that, you know, we're still going strong and you're one of our great stations.
Going strong and nominated for an Emmy Award.
Can you imagine that?
Just a really...
Yeah, at first blush, I said, you know, there's got to be a mistake here. I mean, and then I looked and I thought to myself, are we getting too respectable? I mean, you know, the Emmy people, after all these years, decided that we were worthy of a nomination, and I'm very happy for my staff.
Yeah.
I won't go because I am... Every time I've ever been up for an award and I went, I lost, okay? So years and years...
So now you're superstitious about it?
Yeah, absolutely. Years and years ago, we were nominated. My production company produced a documentary for the Oscars, and I would not go, and the thing won. Can you imagine that the show called Twin Towers, a great short documentary on 9/11, won the Oscar, and so therefore after that I went, I'm not going to any award show.
Yeah.
So my entire staff is going.
Don't you think that sort of speaks to the cyclical nature of daytime talk? And I mean, really, if you think about it, from Phil Donahue, who emanated from this very building.
Absolutely. Phil and I known each other forever.
And Oprah, you know, right downtown. And I mean, so many of the Chicago shows. But how daytime talk has changed so much since you've been on the air.
It sure has. And you know, I mean, I hate to say it's a crapshoot, but any kind of talk show during the day, it's a very difficult commodity to be attracted to. And so, you know, you mentioned Phil. Phil, in his 25th year, had a big NBC primetime special, and all the talk show hosts showed up.
Yeah, I remember.
I mean, from Oprah to me, to Geraldo, to Sally Jesse, to Joan Rivers, we all showed up. We all in the green room because we were doing this skit for Phil. And none of us talked to each other.
Really?
And we're all talk show hosts.
Really?
I couldn't believe it. I said, this is the biggest irony of all.
Was it, do you think it like sort of a competitive
I think so.
nature,
You know,
discomfort?
There was kind of an innate, I guess, competitiveness among us all. And I just was an observer of it. I couldn't believe it.
How do you see your show evolving and changing? I mean, you're on a pretty steady path of success, so don't mess with something that's working.
I think we're always looking for new themes. For instance, we dealt with a theme this year, and I think it was part of the Emmy nomination process, where we took on the whole aspect of bullying. So we brought on kids who, because of some disability or something about them, were being bullied in school.
Right.
And so we've spent a lot of time this year on that subject, and I think it's something we'll continue to do.
Talking about Phil coming out of Chicago and Oprah coming out of Chicago, Maury's got some good Chicago roots. Take a look at the monitor
You're
over
kidding
here.
me.
This is you back in the day when you were on WMAQ.
Oh, gosh.
Here in Chicago on Channel 4.
That's 1977.
You looking.
And and I anchored the early evening news with Ron Hunter, and it was I had more fun as a news person in this town, because Dean, I've always said to myself, this is the best town in the country to cover news, because everybody was so competitive. And all the stations, when we finished the news in the evening, we all, and the newspapers, we all congregated at a pub and chewed over the day's stories.
Yeah. Do you miss it? Do you miss being in news with everything that's going on in the world right now?
I miss it when there's a really good story.
Some pretty good stories going on right now.
Yeah, I know. One of the problems is, I think, particularly with cable news, is that too many cable news outlets have agendas, and I'm not into that. I always try to play it straight. You know, I used to get in trouble because I wanted to do more in the particular story than the news director wanted us to have for that. I want to wait a second. Why do we have to cut after minute 30? Why can't it be a 3-minute story? Something like that.
That's what they're telling me in my ear right now, is that we have to, as you know how that works. Always great to see you, Maury. Thank you so much for coming in.
And I thank this station so much for your loyalty.
We appreciate you. Maury Povich, 1 to 3, right here on WGN. You can get more at mauryshow.com. We'll have sports headlines coming up on the Midday News coming up right after the break.
Adult paternity stories on the next Maury.
Coming up next.